After more than 3 years at the helm, Conneaut City Manager Timothy Eggleston was wrapping up projects Tuesday, October 14th, likely his last working day in office. Eggleston will become city manager of Tipp City, which is slightly smaller than Conneaut. It's near Dayton. His official resignation letter to City Council was expected at Tuesday night's council meeting, but Eggleston said that there had been a delay while a few minor components of his contract with Tipp City are worked out. He said he then expects Tipp City Council to act on his appointment. Eggleston will technically be on vacation as Conneaut City Manager for the next few weeks, meaning he will be available if department heads have questions. We talked to Eggleston about his time in Conneaut and his future. Tell me about so you've been here like 3.5 years?
Close to 3.5.
So tell me about your perception of the city when you first came here compared to what it is now.
I mean, it's just changed a little bit. We've done some things to hopefully improve some of the infrastructure within the community. I mean, the water tower was huge. We still have one more that's going to fail eventually. It has to be replaced.
Is that Clark Street?
Yes. The owners are moving more quickly and fixing up their properties and adding, renovating. I mean, the shores at PUD, now you have new development for residential. We've had a lot of commercial people starting to look at the community. When I got here, the CVS and the Shell were done, and the Pizza Hut Express was going in. You had the Cleveland Hotel done, and now you have Dollar General. I mean, they raised some buildings and built a pretty decent building downtown, which enhances the downtown. So I'm seeing a lot of things going on that are really, people are looking at the community. So I think they're moving in the right direction.
What is if you would have stayed, what would be your goals? What do you think the city needs to be concentrating on now?
The next thing would be a zoning ordinance, update the zoning ordinance. It really is still outdated compared to what it should be. I'd like to see a form-based zoning ordinance where the designers, the developers can give you their ideas on how to develop the property and give and takes, and be able to do it in a way that they utilize the natural features of the land, retain stormwater on site, because we don't want to really get into treating stormwater, which may happen down the road. So I think that's a big key right now for the community. The infrastructure is going to be improved and keeps on getting improved. The department heads do a great job in keeping up on where the problem areas are and what they need to get taken care of.
Are there areas zoning-wise that are zoned, say, residential that should be business, like on Route 20?
Well, I think you could do some office service zoning. Some do a health district zoning, like down by the hospital in that area, so that you can promote, doctors and those types of facilities. I mean, even you could have some smaller restaurants that would support, that area. Maybe a little gift shop, so if you have a loved one in the hospital, you could go, to a gift shop if you need to. So there are some things, but you got to look at, there are some residential areas on 20 that should just remain residential. Not everything on a highway has to be commercial. And I think if that happened, I think that would detract from Conneaut. Because I think the ability to drive down 20 or Broad Street and get that residential feel while you're going down to the port really kind of sets the mood. So I think there's some give and take there, but not everything has to be commercial on a highway.
Is Conneaut business friendly right now? As far as if a business wanted to come into town, the process and all?
We've got a pretty straightforward process. Ms. Gates would meet with them 2 weeks before they go to Planning Commission with staff. They'd go through the plan, look at the proposed stormwater, proposed sanitary and water lines on the building, and then hopefully they could go to Planning Commission and not really have anything to correct. It would be all done, and they could move forward with their project as quickly as they needed to. So I think we've streamlined a little bit of that.
The city has run into some problems commercially, as far as like the Dalton store, the building there, the old Kmart, the Dr. Fieldgood's down the road. I mean, I don't know if any of those buildings can ever be used again. Is there something that needs to be done there to aging buildings or whatever?
Yeah, well, I mean, you do have some infrastructure needs to be worked on, but Kmart, I mean, really that's an economic thing. I mean, Sears and Kmart, they've been closing stores quite readily just because the profits aren't there. So that's an economic choice of the company. It's nothing the community did or probably could have done to stop it. It was just simply an economic move on their part. We may have given them I should say we, the business owner, may have given them the catalyst to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but if it was going to close, it's going to close. The buildings downtown, yeah, I mean, if you could get these buildings fixed up, you can make them presentable, and I mean, you have to do a good interior, exterior renovation. And that's what draws people into your community, the look. So I know the council's ability to do clean up and maintain properties, that should be a priority, and it's been a good priority because people don't want to come into a community where your stores aren't being kept up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it detracts from it. So hopefully those that own the buildings will make the investment. And it'll take time. It could take a couple of years to fill a building, but at least they've made the effort.
I know that like Geneva has an assistant city manager and Asheville has one too, I believe. Is that something that Conneaut should have? Is it too much for one person to be city manager here?
No, I think if you you have growth partnership, you have some of those other entities that take on the economic development role, and that's usually what your assistant managers do. So I think as long as growth partnership can be there to help assist with getting businesses here and helping the city facilitate closing a deal, so to speak, then I think that's money well spent because we contribute to them anyways.
Right.
So they're here to see that the county does grow and the cities do prosper. So I see that as being the assistant manager, if you will, for the city.
Tell me about, you're going to Tipp City. It's roughly the same size. How is it different from Conneaut, and what your challenges are going to be there versus here?
Everybody still has some infrastructure concerns, maintaining roads. They do have a vibrant downtown. I mean, they've got unique shops that draw people in. They are getting development. You say Abbott Industries, the laboratories put in a $27 million facility. So I think it's probably going to shift just a little bit. I think they probably still have some property maintenance issues they'd like to address. They'd like to look at the city as a whole to see staff-wise, are they adequate? So there's always something to be done. There's never a dull moment.
Otherwise, you would need a city manager anyway.
Exactly. So, but like I say, it's a little more affluent. So because of their tax base. Yeah.
What are you going to remember about Conneaut?
Port, lakefront, the people I met, friendships we've forged, my wife and I. I mean, it wasn't necessarily an easy decision because the lake is just beautiful, and to be able to just walk down there, take a tranquil walk along the beach. The area I was in, next to the Conneaut Arts Center. I mean, we could go and just listen to the concerts while they were going. Anything that was going on, the movie night. I love the movie night. I think that was a great thing for the community to be able to come down and watch a movie. So I think those are things we're going to miss most.
Okay. And your resignation is going to be acted on by council tonight? And
No, right now, basically, there's another step within getting my contract.
Oh, okay. So the contract's not done yet?
No, there was just a little grammatical thing that had to be fixed, so I believe Wednesday is when Tipp is going to vote on it. The ordinances and stuff for them are in place. It's just cleaning up the language on one section for mileage reimbursement. So I don't perceive any problems. And then I told President Church that I would then just email council my letter and go from there. So I think it's pretty well known I'll be leaving. So the letter's just a formality.
No big surprise there.
Yeah, right. Just a formality.
So how many people were in the running for city manager in Tipp City?
I had a little over 40, and I made the top 5 and then the top 3. So I mean, it's quite good to be, at least 5 out of 40, 46 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was something they liked on the resume, and say I'm project oriented, and I think they do have a lot of projects and things that they want to do and get going. So the electric utility, that helps them too, because they do make a little extra money on that.
Do you think that the knowledge and that you had gained from here helped in getting that position?
Well, I think so, because of the projects. I mean, we did water towers. Like I say, we're moving forward with the Headworks project, which is badly needed. So I think it's the things they may have saw were the ability to take a project on and bring it to its conclusion, and for the betterment of the community. So it'll be interesting. Looking forward to it.
Also, you're a little closer to your family there.
Yeah, I'll be 2 hours from my daughter in Noblesville, Indiana, 3.5 from my daughter in Battle Creek, who's running my house that we own there. And just a little over 2 hours probably to my dad, who's going to be 82 this year, so I'll be able to check in on him a little more often than I'm able to now, because now it's about a 4.5 hour drive and 5.5 to my daughter in Battle Creek. So 6 hours to my daughter in Indy, so it's just you spend the whole day just getting on the road and going and trying to get through Cleveland and beat the rush hour if you can. But yeah, it'll be nice. We had the granddaughter this weekend, so with the family, and it's just she's growing up faster than I can imagine. So it'll be very, very good for the family.